G'day guys. Just had this 6000 come in and it had crackly audio which got progressively worse, and then it stopped working, and basically said the coil wasn't connected. So what I've done, I've opened up the board, which is really hard. These plastic things here, there. There's one down here as well, but I just swung the other board off that. They're actually really hard to undo. You got to squeeze them and sort of lever the one board from the other, and you've got to be so careful, because if you slip, if you're using something like these to squeeze it to make it fit back through the board, they've got it like a spread, and they go like that once they're in. You got to push them back and then get them through. I just want to say that I just take it for granted how to do it, but anyone doing it, be careful, because there's a lot of very small components that if you slip and basically do a gouge down the board, you'll knock off a whole heap of surface mount components, and you'll probably have tears in your eyes if you do that. But this one here, very interesting. I thought it was on that data handshake because it said no coil, but couple of the connections up the top here, I can actually move them a little bit in the solder. So I think it's the one in the middle. But I touched them all up anyway, because things like that. Anything that's hand finished, like wires through boards, that's where the human error creeps in, depending who you've got doing it, of course. They might not tin it properly, or bit quick with the iron or whatever, and you get dry joints really easy in these areas. Anywhere there's any hand soldering, on the board. So it also can happen in machine soldering too, pick and place and surface mount machines. And yeah, but more so, it was on here. Yeah, so that's all fixed. The ones you want to be careful of on these, I'll spin this around a little bit so you can see, and you can see that it's in frame. These are this is the wire for the handshake. From the chip in the coil, goes through the connector, goes through here, loops around this ferrite. I've had to loosen all this because I had to check all the connections in the back of the connector, coil connector. It's all full of resin of some description, so you really can't. But I've given them the best wiggle, and I've checked for continuity between here and where the wires go, and that seems okay. So I'm putting it down to a bad soldering connection. And also on these data wires here, they are only soldered from the bottom. There's no solder flow on top of the pads. Not that there need to be, because they're through plated, but if the through plate has failed for any reason, I don't know, maybe in manufacture it's been yanked or pulled or something, who knows. I'm only speculating that it could cause a data problem there. And also the interconnects on the boards, I have to turn that around a bit. I can't even see what I'm looking at. You got to get behind the camera. These things here, they connect to mating connectors on the other side of the board. Anything there as well, because the data does come down here and goes onto this board for the handshake, goes into this main MPU or CPU, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, it's very delicate sort of a setup that anything, bad connection anywhere could cause the same problem. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to clean up all the connector pins with some isopropyl alcohol. Just make sure, getting there, I've got the magnifier, the camera magnifier, so I can put the boards under that, zoom in, just make sure that there's no gunk on any of the connections. In manufacture, dust, even strands of hot melt glue, I've seen it actually get across the connectors. Not on this detector, but I have seen it on the other ones, that when they put the mylar in, they've tacked mylar, they tacked the mylar down with hot melt glue, but maybe in previous operations there's been some very fine strands and it gets in the mylar and gets between the metallization of the mylar and the connector, and yeah, it may work and then it doesn't, then it does. It depends how you bend the mylar, and it makes and breaks. So that's one to watch out for, because it's not the hot melt glue gets in. We'll hear from, I'll just show you here. Look, 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 look. I don't know if you can see that. That's hot melt glue. That's what it does. It turns into little strands of plasticky gunk. And yeah, and this has hot melt glue type material all over the detector. So I didn't put that there, by the way. That was just coincidental, because I just saw it there down here. There's more. I can actually probably pull it out, but not going to worry about it. Because as long as it's not in the actual connectors, I don't care. But as long as it doesn't go back in there, if I'm fitting. Hang on, I'll just get a pair of tweezers, which are buried here somewhere, and I'll put on my little 4-eye magnifier and stick my head right in there. Just see what I'm looking at. Here we go. Come here, you. Can't grab it. There's hot melt glue fibres. Ah, gee me. Why won't these grab? They're not the best tool. I think I've grabbed too many things. Here we are. I'll pull that out. Here we go. I don't know if you can see the end of my dirty finger. I've got carbon all over it. But I can't even see where it is myself. There it is there. Come here, you. These are useless tweezers. There you go. Whoops. I can't see where I am. I'm too zoomed in. Oh, there we go. It's on the tweezers now. There you go. I'll have to do that so you can see it maybe. See, little tiny strands of hot melt glue, just residue. And if it gets in there, yeah, that was deep in the board. So I'd say it lived there. It just looks like spider web, but it's actually hot melt glue. When you sometimes glue things and you pull it away, it wants to do that. So just thought I would point that out. Now with this, I have put it all back to. I'm going to put it all back together. I have to zoom out because I'm probably zoomed way too far in. So what I'll do with this, yeah, here we go. That just clicked off the board. It's a bit there, but no big deal. I'm just going to watch what I'm doing here. I just want to make sure everything in there looks clean. But I'll give it some isopropyl in those connectors there. There. Yeah. And there. Man, I've got isopropyl dripping everywhere, but that's no big deal. Okay. I'm just going to check these out, just visually inspect, blow them out, get a mouthful of isopropyl alcohol. And I'm going to get to that back one there. Okay. So what I'll do, I'll squeeze this detector back together, clip, in you go, in you go, and the front one, click. Okay, it's all back together. I've just got to do the whole assembly here because I pulled it apart, of course. So I had to go and inspect inside, but that looks all pretty good. I'll get rid of that. Now I'm going to do this on my knee because I've got to push the cables a particular way to get that big ferrite back down where it come from. There's a tight fit in there. You feel like putting silicone oil on it to get it to move. So I've got to get it there, and it's got a little holder. That's good. There. Okay. I've got to go and settle all that back down. By the way, guys, you probably might be interested in this. I'll just put that there. On these detectors, on the case, on this part of the case here, I'll pull this off. And I'll pull the battery off. I don't need that. On the assembly here, the back assembly, the T10 torque screws that go on these bits here, down there, there's a really deep one, there and there, and there and there. So it's got a couple of shallow ones that are really easy to get to. I got this from, would you believe, I'm going to say it, I got it from Temu, right? A whole set of these. They're torques, but look how long they are. And it makes an absolute, really, perfect tool to get those deep ones down in there. Because my other little bits on the extension, it's too fat to get in the hole, but these, perfect. They work like a charm. And over here, I'm not joking, it was not even expensive. Get all these long, all of them. There's a whole heap of torques bits in there. And you want to know, they're the security type too. They've got holes in the end, so you can do the security torques with these. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know if you can see that. If I hold it like that, yeah, maybe. They've all got holes, so any of the newer torques with a little dimple in the middle stops you getting the normal torques in there. But these are on Temu. God, I can't remember what they were. It wasn't much. It was maybe $8 or something for a whole set. So I bought a stack of stuff actually, and I bought some beautiful little. I bought these little tiny scales, and they're about. They're not very big. I'm trying to find. They're not here. I've got them out, but they're about. Oh, they're probably about that size, the whole part. And I thought, oh, these will be. They were $6 or something, right? And takes a couple of AAA batteries, and turned it on. I said, okay, I'll get my standard gold weights out, which are really accurate. And it measured absolutely accurate as. I was really amazed. So they go down to, what is it, 0.01 of a gram. And yeah, it's got all the normal weights and measures. And it lights up a nice green color too. So yeah, $6 for some really good scales. And it's got a little lid on it and everything. So yeah, it's very good. So yeah, if you're going to work on these detectors or you want to pull them apart, get yourself a set of these off Temu. Temu should be paying me for advertising. But anyway, I'll get this thing back together and I'll just test it out. It's going to be noisy as hell because I've only got a. I'm going to do this round the other way. When you do these, you've got to be careful that you don't short anything out or put it on any metal. Anything. Before I just reassemble the whole thing here, I was going to put the coil connector on. Okay, now put the coil over there, it can hang there for a bit. Slide the battery back on. Okay, stick the mylar back in. Pull that up. Be very gentle. Yeah, that's that. Got to put the head unit connector, the display, because it's awkward because it's got to go around the wrong way from how it's all set. Where are you? There you are. Okay, all connected. And we'll see if we get that horrible fault. Just double check when you do these detectors. You do not want to do, and that clip there, that little clip goes on the back of the board near the data area. So, okay, I'll put it back on. As you can see, it goes there. So what we'll do, turn this on. I'm pretty sure everything looks right. And it's going to scream like a banshee because it's on a mono coil sitting at my feet. But we'll just make sure it doesn't come up with coil not connected. There you go. It's going to scream like a banshee, but she's working. Let's stick a screwdriver near the coil down there. Okay. Give it a wiggle. Yep, lost my fingers touching it. There we go. Turn him off. I'm pretty sure it's cured. When it come here, it didn't even turn on. It just, it turned on and it turned off. It said, oh, it's no coil connected. Bad luck. So now it does connect. So that is a positive on the 6000. Very good. Oh, dear me. So yeah, been very, very busy doing GPXs, but not the 6000s. I've been doing the other GPXs. It's just endless. And if I look behind me, David brought more around. So it's sitting up there staring at me. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them. So yeah, I feel like a slave doing these. God. Yeah. Oh, dear me. Yeah. Apart from that, there was another thing. I was actually, this came in. I was just sitting in front of me, so I thought I'd just point some things out with it. But I want to do another video on lithium battery chargers. I've done some more looking into the things they're trying to get rid of on Alibaba and AliExpress at 1,000,000 miles an hour. 10 for $1 type thing, because they don't work on USB-C chargers. Because they haven't got the sensing resistors, and yeah, that's why they're getting rid of them. Because what's happening is everyone's got USB to USB-B, and cables that go from that to USB-C, and it won't turn the chargers on with these boards, the charging boards on some people's equipment. And because everything's going to USB-C, it may end up being likely that all the charging equipment will be USB-C compliant, not USB-B compliant, and they won't turn on. You won't be able to charge your equipment. So I've been having a look at this, and I've actually worked a workaround that you can actually get the chargers to fire up. And you've got to be careful when you do it, because the value of its the sense resistors actually set the current. You don't want to use you know, a 100 milliamp hour prismatic lithium battery and whack it with 5 amps or capable of. That's asking for problems. You don't want to do that sort of stuff. There's also the issue with equipment on whilst charging, that the charger won't turn off and the battery knows no better. The charger knows no better, the battery overcharges, starts generating oxygen at its anode and starts liberating hydrogen, and next minute you have a little piece of thermite going on that'll burn your house down. So there's a lot of things out there which really need a rethink on how they're done, and hopefully see, a lot of the charger boards, you connect the charger input to the board, and then the takeoff basically goes down to where the battery connects. But where you're taking the power off for your device off the battery, it's just a direct connect, and it doesn't know any different. So it you're draining on the battery whilst charging at the same time. All you need is constant charge going into the battery. It has a little dip, and these boards are meant to sense that and know that, oh yeah, batteries are full. It does something. It goes into, draws extra current, does a dip, and something happens with the voltage, and that is all sensed. When you have it running equipment at the same time, it can't sense that change and continues to charge, right? And that's when you have a potential bomb in your device, whatever it may be. So there is a workaround for this, and I've had a look at some of the newer boards. They still don't have USB-C compatibility, and the ones that do want to put out 3 amps, so you can't do it. There's ways that you can change some of the resistor values, and that changes the current that comes out. You can alter the current down to 100 milliamps all the way up to 3 amps. Not that you want 3 amps charging batteries. If you're into radio controlled cars that run on lithium, or planes and that, yeah, maybe, but yeah, be wary of this stuff. Slow charge is always the best. Like our batteries, our chargers do it overnight, and by doing that, I've got lithium batteries here that are getting on to just over 10 years old. It's still, because they're charged so slowly, they've still got full capacity. I'm using them now. Yeah, I've got one up there on the charge at the moment, but like these little ones, that's old as the hills, that thing. That's one of the very first ones. It's still going like a charm. And up there on my chargers, there's some batteries up there as well, which, yeah, charge them very, very slowly over a long period of time, generate no heat, and treat them gently, and they just keep going. I'm absolutely amazed. I thought, lithium batteries, 500 to 1,000 charges, chuck it in the bin. These batteries here, I charge them maybe every second day, and if you work that out over just 10 years worth, it's a hell of a lot of charges, because I use them to power up the detectors when I'm working on them. And 8 hours on the battery, and the detector goes, oops, starts beeping, the battery's flat, and I put it back on the charge, and it'll last all day again. So rather amazed. Anyway, got that on my head. I'll just turn this thing on once more, just to make sure that it's going to behave. That's just the cables wobbling when I hit it. I'd say it's probably cured. When you get a detector in bits like this, the best thing you can do is get rid of the battery part, just in case. So there we go. I'll pull the mylar out and stick it over there, put it upwards. So yeah, now it's all safe. Just remember too on these, if you get between the board, these two capacitors here, they store high voltage, and if you stick your fingers under there, it's actually labelled on these boards, high voltage area. A lot of the previous ones weren't, but they were covered in paint, but no, another story. But on these, it's all labelled as such, so it's compliant with rules and regulations, mainly EU rules and regulations. That it's labelled high voltage, don't touch, it'll hurt your fingers a little bit or worse. So yeah, anyway, that's that. We're not going to go and waffle on about the 6000, but yeah, just dry joints where there's human intervention on the soldering. Be careful. Yeah, got lots of cables that go in, and they're all hand soldered, or have to be. Machine won't do that. It'll balls it up for sure. So there you go. Anyway, that's only a nice short 26-minute video. Catches.